Hello, everyone. Let me begin by stating my purpose clearly. I am here to fully admit to and account for my past actions. The actions I speak about are a number of messages that I once sent in my Discord server that contain clear evidence of racism and transphobia. And I want to be transparent. I no longer approve in any way of what I have done and am not trying to put up a defense. I'm showing this to you all because accounting for all of this and apologizing is only the first step of recovery and self-reflection. This video is a revised apology letter to correct as many faults as possible in the original response. In the week that has passed since my last post, a number of people reached out to me to tell me the problems with my initial response to this situation. I will tell you those issues here so that you understand why I'm creating a revised letter. Number 1. It was a mistake to jump to the creation of a public video without contacting the victims or critiquers directly beforehand. Number 2. I was not able to include all evidence of my past messages in my initial letter. Number 3. The entire thing was overdramatic and came off to a lot of people as manipulative and overbearing. I want to clarify that I now understand what I did wrong in my initial letter. My intuitive action of making the situation public was the result of panic and my inability to comprehend things logically. Since then, I've contacted my critiquers directly via Discord. They coached me in creating a more transparent and cohesive response. Furthermore, I want to assure that my disincluding evidence was completely unintentional. What I had said, I had completely forgotten by then, and I relied on the screenshots my server provided for me from my critiquers in order to include what I could. If it was intentional, I would not be trying to correct it now. And finally, this apology will not include anything overdramatic or potentially manipulative. I will keep it simple and give you only plain facts. Clause 1. Racism. Proof of allegations. Explanation. I understand that you are shocked, and I don't blame you. Having forgotten every occurrence of these, I look upon these screenshots with new eyes. It shows clear prejudice, and what I said was during a time when I was uneducated and arrogant. I owe it to the people I offended to provide an honest reflection on all these screenshots. I can't understand why I sent this. I know well now that being another race that is sometimes faced with discrimination doesn't on any level make me exempt from being outright racist towards a different race. I don't know how I came up with my past logic, but I believe it was partially due to the environment I'm surrounded by in reality. This comment was one of many that someone directly confronted me on. My only possible explanation follows through with their confrontation. I got so used to my IRL environment that without knowing, the words people around me threw around clearly inflicted my psyche in a way that was subconscious. But it is not those people who are at fault for sending. It is mine, for getting so used to their opinions, but especially by joining them in inflicting the same verbal harassment on the black community, without even knowing about the struggles they go through on a day-to-day basis. There is no excuse for what I said. Once again, I have no explanation. I can only assert that now, after having watched multiple clips and ads of the movie, I cannot deny that Halle Bailey has a beautiful voice. She is fully deserving of her role. I don't even know who I thought I was to say Bailey's casting was because she is black, or because it was for political reasons. I have no answer. It's shameful to me that I really believe that, and I have no other things to say except that I'm sorry for this past action. A lot of what I believed then was influenced heavily by the people I'm close with in real life. Note that I'm not trying to pin blame on them. It was ultimately me who chose to send these messages. I simply want to highlight that the opinions of others around me play a significant role in my personality, but I agree with you all that I should have had the moral sense to differentiate between opinions I should and shouldn't take so casually. I apologize for doing so in the past. Clause 2. Transphobia. Proof of allegations. Explanation. Section 1. Anti-Xenogender. There are too many screenshots of the situation with the main victim to explain each of them, one by one. If you got lost in reading, I will do my best to provide a brief summary. A few months ago, a new member joined my Discord server, the main victim. We will call them R, as labeled in the screenshots. They expressed themselves as a xenogender, and, almost immediately, myself and others in the server began bullying them by making petty and offensive comments towards their identity. I agree that there is no excuse for fostering a community that is openly abusive towards people with xenogenders. The root problems were that I had turned my server into my personal echo chamber, and that I was uneducated and unwilling to learn about R's experiences. Let me explain. Unknowingly, I made my server in a way that, essentially, if you had a clash of opinions with me, you would be banned. If you consistently didn't agree with me, you'd be banned. I was strengthened by the other people in those screenshots. I was always white-knighted by them, and I was never told by them that what I was doing was wrong. Because anyone who had a clashing opinion with me was already gone. Even my moderators, I remember saying multiple times that I chose based on trusted people. I didn't choose them for server experience. I chose based on whether or not they consistently agreed with me. I really believe that this was the key to being online, enclosing yourself in a community that views you only in a positive light, so you're never faced with negativity. But it's clear that my actions only turned me into the lead bully of a very large posse. This bullying behavior is clear from the screenshots. Before my entrance, R was facing some oppression, but it wasn't until I entered the chat that the conversation really focused on them. It's equally clear that I was uneducated. This is most likely because of the fact that before entering the online community, I had never met someone who had a xenogender or someone who didn't use she, her, or he, him pronouns. My IRL environment was and still is strictly enclosed by factors out of my control as a 15-year-old. Even when I was online, I had brushed upon pronouns pages from other creators, but neglected to read them because I hadn't thought it was important enough. I never faced any consequences for these actions. Furthermore, I was unwilling to learn about R. I essentially saw the word sparkle gender and became confused because I had never encountered that term before. From the screenshots, I see R trying to explain that they don't identify as sparkles, but I disregarded them and turned to humour my posse by saying that I was too old-fashioned for their explanation. I even had the audacity to encourage more people to join this posse, furthering my point by spreading outright misinformation to people who asked about Aurora. My first mistake was creating a community in which no one ever disagreed with me. I owe it to those people in my Discord server to try my best to correct them after spending the last 2 years training them to pretty much always agree with me. My second, far more significant mistake is that I was so arrogant as to disregard and bully someone else only for having an identity unfamiliar to me. But my third mistake was the uneducated state in which I said all these hurtful comments. In the midst of this, I was sent a wiki about xenogenders, and I read it through. If there is anyone out there who is still unsure, like my past self, it's essentially an umbrella term used to define a possibly infinite collection of things that people with xenogenders identify with. Since I still didn't fully understand how it worked, I Googled, why do people with xenogenders identify with what they do? And was taken to another wiki where it explained that people who don't experience the same feeling can never truly understand the connection. But just because I still don't 100% understand the connection shouldn't mean that xenogenders are below any other gender. I know at least now that I need to at the very least respect their identity. I apologize for somehow only seeing this so recently. Section 2. General Transphobia. I was completely unaware until this situation that this was an offensive joke. I seriously thought it was a universal internet joke, one of those I hear everyone talk about, and just decided to try for myself. I'm sorry for using it without understanding its context. I'll be better when choosing my words in the future. I'm being genuine here when I say that I seriously didn't know until extremely recently that there was any difference between sex and gender. I saw no reason to learn it myself. I thought I was already right. I thought they strictly corresponded with each other. If you were assigned female at birth, your gender was girl. If you were assigned male at birth, your gender was boy. And that was that. I had thought that any gender other than those two were a result of misguided thinking. This was an opinion formed from what people around me said about society, the way it is now. In these messages, I was trying to refer to sex, which is what I think I meant by biological genders. I agree that this is no excuse for being uneducated to the point that I'd say what I said. I should at the very least have been open to new ideas, but I think it's been established that I was too accustomed to the two-gender concept to even do that. These comments are the result of literally being blocked off from reality the way it is, and being so encouraged by my echo chamber that I didn't feel the need to learn about it, It's a downward spiral, and I'm sorry for not realizing that even after sending all the offensive comments I made. Instead of repenting for them in the following months, I spent that time simply forgetting all of it happened. I have no defense or reasonable explanation. Planned steps of recovery. I mentioned before that in my initial response, I never tried to contact my victims. I have done that in the week that has passed since then. R, among others, were an important part of the process of this apology, for helping me realize the mistakes I made in my initial response, and for agreeing to tell me how to go about creating a better apology. I have also directly sent a lengthy apology to the main victim themselves, and willingly answered questions made by those who were there to support them. I am trying the best I can in this moment to show I have deep regrets for inflicting verbal abuse onto the main victim, as well as towards anyone viewing this video who have also taken offense. Furthermore, it has recently been made clear to me that I have inflicted a lot of pain and burden on everyone involved in this situation, including you as viewers. And because of this, I think it fair that I postpone my normal channel activities for around a month so I can take the time needed to reflect on my actions, and also to fix the clear bias in moderation in my Discord server, Palette. Palette's ban list is over 200 members long, which is an abnormal number for a server with only 5K members. It will take time and energy to go through them and see which accounts were rightfully banned for malicious activity and which were only the casualties of my actions. It will take even longer before I even consider joining other GachaTuber servers or begin speaking to other content creators so casually as I did less than 2 weeks ago. Ending clarifications. Number 1. It seems like you're only trying to save your reputation with this apology. Are you really regretful, or do you only want to slide it under the mattress? Just like in my first apology, I expect nothing from you as viewers. I give you a full decision to continue watching my future content or stay away from it. My focus right now is doing my best to prevent this sort of situation from happening ever again, not on my channel statistics. I feel that if I really was trying to slide it under the mattress, I wouldn't be creating a second apology. Number 2. Why was the allegation of homophobia disincluded from your original apology? It's important to re-clarify that in my original apology, I had made no effort to contact my exposers. I had also forgotten nearly every single one of these occurrences. My exposers had made a brief entrance in Palette while I was offline, before my moderators deleted all traces of their entry, first by individual deletion and then by purging chat. While Dino doesn't record chat purges, it recorded the contents of every message that was individually deleted. Among these messages was this instance. Because I forgot any and all context and I didn't try to contact them, I simply took their word for it and included homophobia among the other allegations. Since then, it's been clarified that it was an honest mistake on their part and that there was no evidence of homophobia from my past messages. Therefore, I didn't include it in this new apology. Number 3. Why are you using an AI voice, which is so stereotypical of a GachaTuber apology? It is stereotypical, but I'm still a minor and living under my parents' discretion. I have asked whether or not I can read this script myself and expose my voice like I did in the live stream a few months ago. They were firm and said no, and I cannot go against their wishes. They also asked that I delete the live stream, which I complied with. Number 4. Why are you only taking accountability now? You've had 2 years on YouTube to correct your mistakes and you didn't. Why only take things seriously when your channel is on the line? I've made it clear that my actions were a result of me being uneducated and unaware that I was wrong. I really didn't know that these actions were wrong, so I couldn't correct them because I thought I was right. Actually, I thought they were common sense, because it seemed to me that these opinions were shared not only by people I'm very close with in real life, but also by the people I associated with online. I understand it's hard to believe, but it's all I can offer. In a way, getting exposed was the best way to teach me the lesson I needed. Yellow matters so much to me, and it wasn't until my cancellation that I realized what I did had heavy consequences. Essentially, having my channel on the line was the thing that taught me how to take accountability. Number 5. How is it possible that you forgot all of this happened? I made these comments offhandedly, just like any other common conversation. It was completely normalized to me, like I said. I probably thought it was all common sense. They left my mind like any other day-to-day conversation. Furthermore, ever since early August, I've had a very crushing workload. On top of managing a channel, I take 5 college course classes as a sophomore in high school and additionally direct other extracurricular activities. On the day of my cancellation, first semester finals were due to happen in the week after, which is also why this revised apology took so long to come out. Please note that I'm not trying to make any excuses. I'm simply trying to explain how all the screenshots managed to completely fall off my mental radar. Parting words. From this situation, I'm determined to return as a better person. As my viewers, I ask for your trust in me that I will try my hardest to grow into a more responsible and compassionate person. I thank you if you do, and respect your decision if you don't. Either way, it doesn't change my resolve that I will do everything I can to ensure nothing like this will happen ever again. See you in 2024, Yellow.